Hello and welcome to CCM Discovery. Now, this is your go to spot for uncovering today's freshest voices in Christian music, inspiring authors, comedians, the movers and shakers that are shaping the industry that we love. Now, we'll also rediscover the classic artists who built the foundation of contemporary Christian music as we know it today. I get to be your host. I'm the lucky one, Roger St. James, former Christian radio DJ, and I'm here to guide you through the stories, sounds, and the people behind the music that we love. Now, whether you're a longtime fan or just starting your journey, get ready to dive deep into the hearts, spirit, and inspirational voices of contemporary Christian music. So let's discover together.
Hey guys, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Kylie. I'm a 34-year-old mom of 4 kids. I live in Montana. I love Jesus. I love coffee. I love hats. And I love singing. So if those are things that you want to see on your feed, I'd love if you'd follow me, and I'll see you around.
And that's exactly how I found Kylee Wilson. Welcome to the show, Kylee.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, it is nice to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Absolutely. It's nice to meet you, and I can't believe I'm here.
Well, we are so glad you are, and we have a little routine here. We always like to give people a chance to brag on their kids right off the bat here. So, and if you want to tell us about how amazing your children are, go for it.
Absolutely. I've got 4 kids, so I mean I could take all day long. um, yeah, they're amazing. They're all homeschooled, which is an absolute blessing to be able to do. They're just fantastic kids. I mean, I don't really want to get too far into it because I could just name a million things and we could spend an hour talking just about them. So, yeah, I've got 3 girls and a boy, and they're amazing.
Yeah, and they're such a gift. Like I said, I have 2 boys myself, so I know how much fun it can be and how trying it is. And good thing God's in our life. That's all I have to say.
Oh, a million percent. I couldn't do it without him.
So let's start there. How did you and God get to know each other?
Well, let's see. I actually grew up in the Mormon church for a few years, like in my very young years. And my parents, I was born in Utah. And we left Utah and they kind of switched out of that and into more of just Christianity, non denominational. And I went to a Christian school for a little while when I was younger, like 2 years, like second and third grade. And then kind of lost touch from there. I moved into a public school and I wouldn't say I grew up religious at all. I grew up with amazing parents that just protected us and wanted us to know the right things and all of that. But we didn't go to church and nothing like that. So I've always had like a familiar relationship, but nothing close. And recently, in the last like 6 months, I just kind of found myself questioning, what's my purpose? What am I made for? What am I doing? And one day I was out on a side by side ride, which is like my favorite thing to do because I live in Montana. And I actually was on a mission to find this moose. There's a moose that lives on like this specific road. And I said to God, like, if you're real, because there's just so many questions, like, show me the moose. And I'm driving up and I get to this beautiful opening at a creek, and I just like have all these lyrics start coming into my head, and I wrote them all down, and I'm sobbing, and I drive back, and I realized in that moment that that was the moose that he wanted me to have, something big and something majestic, and it was absolutely incredible. And from that point I just started getting like more lyrics, I guess, and every song that I wrote was about God. I'm like, what is going on here? This is so strange because I wouldn't say I'm religious, but all these songs are about God. What is happening here? And yeah, I just finally opened up that door and figured out that's where he wanted me to be. And it's been a beautiful journey since then, about 6 months now. So
I think that's great because I really like what you touched on there. You weren't religious, but you were open to the spirit,
absolutely.
and I think that's something that kind of gets lost on folks. But you God put it out there for you, and you grabbed it, and I think that that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Be, be,
It,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it saved me.
That is I love that. That's so happy, and I can see it in your face. You mean it. It's real, and that is
Absolutely.
very cool. Now, you said all these lyrics came for you to you. Had you been writing songs before, or is this something that just brand new?
Writing songs is new. I've always loved to sing. Like when I was little, I wanted to be a singer and all those things. I became a mom when I was 17. So my own passions and dreams kind of got on the wayside because my kids have always been number one. And she was 4 when I met my now ex-husband. And she was 9 when my next was born. So there was a big gap there where I wasn't
Oh
sure if I was going to have more kids. And then all of a sudden now I have 4. um, but yeah, it's just like my life has been so busy that that's just not something that I've ever pursued. And it's funny, I went to a Shania Twain concert, which is the first concert I've ever been to. And she's someone that I loved so much when I was little. And I'm sitting at a Shania Twain concert, bawling my eyes out because it was amazing to see somebody up there singing and somebody that I don't know that I like followed or anything like that. It was just like a special place in my heart because I used to listen to her so much when I was little. I felt like a little kid again and all my dreams came back of wanting to sing and all that, you know. And so that's really where I'm like, well, what if I start writing songs because I'm these keep coming to me, and then what if I sing them, put them out on social media and see what happens? So now here we are.
And I'm glad you did because we're going to wrap up with one of your songs, but you've done so many, and that's what I just think. Like you said, it's been like 6 months, and
Yeah,
you almost almost every time I go on there, you got something new, and they're all good, and and and
thank you.
and and they're all real, and I can't imagine how exciting that must be for you to just this new world opening up.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's not like I have a lot of time to just sit around and write songs, but yeah, it's really I just start with like an idea of a story, and then it's amazing how easy it comes. It doesn't really take a lot of time and effort, but it's happening. So
That's because it's coming from the spirit, and you're listening to it, and that's
absolutely.
and we are all stubborn people. If we just let's shut up and listen, you know, things would go a lot better for us.
I That's what I've noticed is like some of those quiet places, that's where you hear God the loudest is he just he's ready to talk to you. It's amazing. You just have to be quiet and actually listen. And a lot of people think that God doesn't talk to them, but he is, you're just not listening.
Exactly, exactly. Now you said you don't have a lot of time, and I can't imagine you do. You homeschool 4 kids. What made you decide to do the homeschooling?
It's just something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and everything just kind of finally worked out to where that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't really ready to do it yet, but as it took a long time to talk their dad into he was afraid that they wouldn't be smart enough or that I wouldn't know quite well enough what I would be doing. And I asked one of my neighbors who homeschooled like what she was using, and she actually referred a Christian program. And that was all in the beginning, like about 6 months ago. All like my whole life just completely turned and switched to God. And so now we use like Christian curriculums in homeschool that, again, like I wasn't looking for them, they found me. And it's so cool to be able to spend that time with them that you're it just blows my mind that I was like sending my kids to somebody else so that they got that special time with them and now I have it and it's something that I don't ever want to lose. It's so incredible to be able to see what makes them mad, what makes them excited, like what little things trigger them and oh, it's so cool. I love it.
And that's got to be, at times for them, it's probably like, oh yeah, going to school with mom. But when you think how it's going to be down the road, when they look back at it as the core memories that you have instilled, and those are going to be such great gifts that you're going to give those kids. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's yesterday I asked my 7-year-old, I'm like, "Am I a good teacher?" Because we were playing a game of rolling dice, and it had, like, the child and the teacher check boxes of who got what points for this game. And at the end, I was like, "Am I a good teacher?" She's like, "Yeah." Thanks.
Apple a day. Just remember that on Valentine's Day, you make sure you get all the the little cards from your students. That
Oh,
is the
that's
coolest
true.
thing.
Actually, my 5-year-old told me I'm not allowed to look under her bed because she has her Valentine's present for me under there. I don't know when she made it and who guided her to it, but I'm excited to see it.
That's going to be a lot, and you'll have to put it up on your on one of your pages afterwards, so we can see
Definitely.
that. That'll be
Yeah.
so cool. Now you're a self-admitted coffee addict, and as a fellow coffee addict, I can kind of right here. You know,
Nice.
I understand and it's such a gift. God is so nice with coffee. I can't live without it. It's so cool.
Yes, I love coffee.
Now you're also very. I mean, so far you're a homeschool, 4 kids, coffee lover, and business owner. I mean, you are an extremely impressive woman with everything
Thank
you've
you.
got going on, and 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 yet you still have find time to write and sing, and it's pretty cool. That's why I really was looking forward to talking to you because you got a lot of stuff going on, and you're covering a lot of boxes. And you also talked about you have a miracle story, and you're with your situation that you had with alcohol, and
Yeah.
I don't want to tell that story. I would like you to, if you would mind telling that story. It's a great gift.
Yeah, absolutely. It really goes back in line with side by side rides and being out in the mountains and just talking to God and being out in his beauty and everything. And one day, I mean, I was drinking every single day, which is, I want to be ashamed to admit it, but I know that I don't need to be ashamed because God takes that shame. Um, but every single day, it was what I woke up to do, and somehow I was so functional doing it. But yeah, I just knew that I didn't want to do it anymore. I would wake up in the middle of the night, every night around 2, and just be like full of guilt and shame and all these things because I didn't want to do it anymore. And one day, it was after all these songs started coming, and after I was homeschooling, and just all these different ways that God had entered into my life. And one day I woke up and I didn't crave anything anymore. It was gone. I honestly, I took credit for it for a little bit. I finally was like, wow, I have my willpower that I've been looking for. This is so awesome. Like, look at me. And it took me about 2 months with no cravings. That's what's crazy is every day I couldn't make it past 11 o'clock without thinking about it. And I, yeah, just woke up and it was completely gone. It took me 2 months to finally figure out that I am not the one that did that. That had nothing to do with me. That was a miracle performed by God, just like how he healed the blind and all of the different things you hear about in the Bible and all these other testimonies that people have, like that are true miracles. That is what happened to me because I did not think that I could do it. Um, I was just gonna drink, and that's what I did, and feel guilty about it, and it's gone now.
That's such a gift and such a great story that it can happen like that. You know, because you hear about it, and until you actually talk to somebody who it actually happened to, and can say, no, it's real. It's not. Miracles happen. They still do.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
what's just so mind blowing is I that is the only explanation because I couldn't do it myself. And I thought I did. And then once I realized it, I was just trying to figure out if I had control over it. And so there was a couple times where I would test to see if I could just have one, but very rarely. It was in the first like 3 months, I'd have one and I would be able to not have another one, which was absolutely incredible. And then once I figured out that God is who did it, been like, "You win. I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore." And I haven't had anything since then. So it's so incredible to actually be able to sit on the other side and be like, this is a story that I have and I didn't necessarily earn it. I didn't do anything to earn it. I didn't He gave me that gift and it's my job now to tell the world how good he is with my testimony.
and that's why I'm glad you're here. when you started this process and the music and what made you decide to get out there onto social media? What prompted that? Because that's one of the great things that I've discovered about doing this show is that's how I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. But I'm always fascinated as to what pushed you enough to want to put, because that's a risk, putting
Yeah.
yourself out there like that. I mean, people cannot be nice, and
Yeah.
and to do that, and especially with everything that you've been going through and everything that's going on in your life, and this is a brand new 6 month bomb on you,
Yeah.
and but you put it out there. What pushed you to do that, and how's it been going for you?
Yeah. I was actually just trying to figure out what my next steps were because I was selling my coffee shop and I knew that I need to do something next. I'm not a person that can do nothing. I need to be doing too many things. It's just how I operate. And so, anyway, I was on vacation in Arizona and I was just watching my kids play in the pool. And I'm like, what if we could like do this and have it be supported by making videos or whatever. So that's kind of how I got into posting a lot, and I wasn't really sure like what I wanted to post or what I was trying to do. And the very first video that I posted was singing a Franny Cash song, Misfit. And my grandma was like, she messaged me after she saw it, and she's like, I didn't know that you could act like that or like had that much personality on camera. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she didn't really realize that I could sing either, which blew my mind because it's something like I thought everybody knew that about me, that I love to sing. And so that was kind of crazy. And I don't really know what like the full nudge was to totally turn into that avenue other than I did it and people liked it. And yeah, like I also realized that it is my duty with what God gave me in sobriety to get out there and tell people about him. And like I read the book The Heavenly Man, and that was an absolutely incredible book. And there's just a lot of things that I've had come to me that we are supposed to be disciples. And the only way that I can tell the world while still being a mom and doing everything that is important to me in that space is to do it on social media because you can reach every country that way. I mean, most of them, but it with one post you could reach millions. I don't think I've reached a million on one post yet, but that's just what's so cool about it is you get the opportunity to preach, to share the gospel, to share his goodness with the world. It's
Yeah,
cool.
and as long as one person hears it,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. Where do you? I know this is going to be kind of an odd question, but where do you think this is going to take you? Do you have any idea, or is it just something you're just going to ride the wave and
I'm
keep
riding
going
the
with it?
wave. I honestly can't even believe that I'm sitting here talking to you because I had only posted like 3 videos when you sent me a message. And I'm like, who am I to be on here? But it doesn't matter what my plan is or my understanding. It's God's plan. And ultimately, it's all going to be what He wants to do. I mean, I'd love to be on stage with Brandon Lake or Phil Wickham or something like that at some point, but you never know. Even Ben
But
Fuller,
that's
he's amazing.
Oh, his name comes up on, I'd have to say, every third show. Somebody
Oh, wow.
mentions Ben Fuller. They've either worked with him or inspired by him. So I'm going to have to try to get Ben Fuller because
Yeah,
I think he's been on the show more than I have.
that's
Um,
crazy.
I just, and it's funny that you mentioned that because I get sent a lot of things and I see a lot of things. And when I was on the air back, as my oldest son likes to say, last century. The thing that I loved about contemporary Christian music was everybody had sounds. You could tell 3, 4 bars into a song who was performing that one. And today,
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff there's not sounds. A lot of the stuff, especially on conglomerate radio, is very cookie cutter. It all
Yeah,
sounds the same, and that's what I look for. I look for sounds, or I look for just something different in the music. And the first time I heard you, I stopped. I was, I just was walking around with the phone, listening to different things, and I stopped to look at you and listen to what you were saying. And
That's
then
awesome.
I went and I looked at some other things. And like you said, there weren't a lot, but there was enough. And I said, no, there's something, there's a sound here. This woman is singing from her heart. It's coming from a real place. And that's why I wanted to meet you and hear about it and hear how it got started and see where you want to go with it. And I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
so we talked. Are there any verses right now that you kind of hang on to? Because for me, there's certain verses that no matter what's happening, it's just kind of I grab onto it for a while, and then there's another one, and then you learn. And so, is there anything right now that you're just kind of hanging on to, or it's helping you get through the day?
I will try not to cry because I didn't
Oh
expect
no.
that. Because yeah, like I would say, like the biggest one is to like unashamed. I'm unashamed by the gospel of Jesus Christ. From the one who saved my life. Like, oh, it's so good because it can be really hard to not be in the Christian world. And then all of a sudden, God changes your life. And the people who haven't had that experience yet look at you and go, what happened? Like, that's weird. Why all of a sudden is she being like religious and about Jesus? And that's just one that's like totally stuck with me because I don't want to be ashamed. I'm not ashamed, but that challenge can be kind of crazy to explain and not have people think you've gone crazy. But oh my gosh, when it happens, I wish everyone could know what that feels like. And yeah, that's the one that definitely sticks pretty good.
That's a great one. No way we are not ashamed by the gospel or his name. It's a great. That's a great song by Carmen. If you ever want to check it out, guy from the '80s. No way we are not ashamed.
Okay.
I think you'll
Yeah.
definitely enjoy it. It's a great song.
Awesome.
Um, so we do something here before we wrap up. My oldest son Tyler is a legitimate hero. He's a fireman, and my youngest son Matthew is profoundly autistic. So 9 seconds means something to him for whatever reason. So as we kind of wrap up here before we jump into your song, we call it Matthew's 9-ish seconds of wisdom. So Kylie, for a second, pretend you're in charge of the world. What would you put out there to try to make it a better place?
I would say try praying and see what happens. Like if you haven't done it in a long time or whatever, call out to God. And if you're questioning if he's real or not, pray and see with a true heart what could happen, and your life could be flipped upside down in the absolute best way. That's really my best advice.
And that's exactly what you did. And look what happened.
Yeah,
You you,
exactly.
you got that smile and that shine in your eye, and that's so
Yeah.
amazing. And that's actually perfect because it leads us to your song that we're gonna go out on here. It's called "Thank You, Jesus." Now, the title pretty much explains it, but why don't you
Yes.
why don't you give us a little bit of how this song came to you? Because to me,
Yeah.
that's I love the stories. The songs are great, but it's the stories that make us friends. So, what's the story behind "Thank You, Jesus"?
Um, really, as all of this was happening, going through the alcohol recovery, and I mentioned I've recently gotten divorced, and I was selling a business that I was absolutely in love with, like so many massive changes that if I didn't have God, um I I don't know how I would get through that. I mean, I would, but I'm so glad that he gets the credit for it. And sometimes you're going to cry, sometimes you're going to hurt, but all of it is for a greater cause, and it makes us stronger. And fortunately, I've been made stronger through him in a time that he was, because at this time I didn't know that I was going to get divorced or that my coffee shop was going to sell. It was just kind of thoughts that were happening. But I'm so glad that he got a hold of me when he did, so that I was able to have him to lean on. And yeah, so just thank you, Jesus, for everything. and for making me strong.
And I thank Jesus for putting us on the same Instagram page at one time. And
Absolutely.
Kylie, it has been a real thrill to meet you, and thank you for taking the time from your 4 kids. And I'm glad there were no major emergencies. It came, you didn't hear a
Thank
huge
you.
crash behind you, you know.
No, we're good.
And please definitely keep us. I'm gonna keep watching you, and I'm gonna keep listening to you, and we are here for you anytime you want to let us know something new and exciting that's going on with you and your music.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm about to record Thank You, Jesus. So watch for that because that will be out on all platforms. I don't know quite when yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, excellent. And we're going to get a really nice taste of it right now. Kylie, thank you so much. And here is Kylee Wilson with Thank You, Jesus.
Thank you.
All right, I'll sing a song for you that I wrote. It's called Thank You, Jesus, and it goes like this. I walked through fire, I walked through rain, held my breath beneath the weight of pain. But every time I thought I'd drown, you were the hand that pulled me out. You turned my fear to faith again, taught my heart how to begin. And I see now it all had purpose in your plan. Thank you, Jesus, for the tears I've cried, for the nights I broke, for the times I tried. You were shaping me in every fight, even when I couldn't